Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by myself, Vulcan, and Atkpwr.
Hello everyone, Atkpwr here, super pumped for more Steel Division 2 finals.
In this video we have for you game 3 of a best of 5 between Yamin and Ghosty in the grand final of the Division 1 Season 11 playoffs of the Steel Division 2 League. Today they are playing on Krupa, and on our left in the red team we have Yamin playing with the 6th Airborne and the Maverick deployment type. And on our right in the blue team we have Ghosty playing with the 3rd US Armored and the Maverick deployment type. So currently Yamin 2-0 up in this series against Ghosty. Ghosty's having to get one back, otherwise Yamin will be the victor of the Steel Division League Season 11. What do you make of this, Atkpwr?
I mean, 2 solid divisions here. 6th Airborne, significantly buffed, back in August, I guess, when the Men of Steel patch came out. Their AB Paras got snipers and stuff. It just kind of put them way back on the map here. You get the Damlers for a very zippy start to the game. Of course, then AB Paras, AB Engineer, just AB anything with an AB in front of it you get in this division. So severe sniper spam. It's one of the big issues in the game right now. They get a couple Cromwell's Tetrarchs in the tank tab. Lots of 17-pounders we see here from him. AA is not great. Definitely lacking. But then you get the Typhoons, which are like the best plane in the game, basically. Right? I'm not mixing it up with the Tempest, right? Typhoon's the best. I think it is. I mean,
the Tempest is very good, but
it is,
the Typhoons are reliable.
Yeah, they're medium resilience and disgustingly fast. On the other side here, we have 3rd U.S. Armored, which has made a good name for itself in this season. Of course, really lacking in infantry, but that's made up for the fact every unit comes in with a half-track. Your tank tab, really solid. It's basically what you always want Shermans to be, the M4A1s, 76s that can actually kill tanks. It's at least what I always want Shermans to be. Lots of support there in the support tab. AT tab, fabulous with the M5 guns. AA, little lacking, but there's enough to get by. And then you get the American Air Force, which has lots of big booms.
All right, well, let's have a quick look at what these chaps are getting down. For Yamin, it's going to be a bunch of airborne scouts. We've got the airborne leader, the air landing, the oxen bucks, and some Canadian powders at the back. And then we see the Centaur 4, which can indirect fire now. And we got the Jeep supply there. We've got the M1A1 Pack 75mm infantry gun. There is the air landing and the Oxen Bucks with the Tetrarch. On the bottom side, we're going to see the M1A1 Pack 75 with the air landing Oxen Bucks and the air landing Tetrarch. So a lot of these air landing at the start, which are nice, cheap, small squads with Piats, and then following up with the more elite Oxen Bucks. Over on the side of Ghosty, he's got the flamethrower, the 50 cal, the M1 gun, and the armored rifles on the top side. We've got a flamethrower further down, and one accompanying a M8 Scott. And on the very bottom side, it looks like the majority of Ghosty's forces is going to be the flamethrowers, the 50 cal, a big contingent of half-tracks, all of these armored LMG rifles and armored rifles leading the way in. These are M3 half-tracks and M3A1 half-tracks, M15 CGMC, M5A1 Stuart, M4 105 and 2 M4A1s. So a large amount of forces here, and Ghosty really is going to want to make this work.
Yeah, both of them. So Yamin's going up north big. He's got his push across the river here, and Ghosty going big down south. Kind of odd. I'm not a big fan of the southern push. The flags are really deep, hard to get, and I just don't feel like there's a lot of room to develop the grab once you get it. But it's definitely unexpected, right? Most people don't expect this coming out of the blue side to push this left flank. Or southern flank, I should say.
It's really going to be up to these air landing to get rid of this initial flamethrowers, and then they can set up with their Piats to help deal with a lot of the half-tracks that are coming across. If the air landing end up getting pinned down, they might just get ran over by a lot of this armor that's on its way. They are still getting forced back already by the M15 on the bottom side, but one in the mid will find a lot of information. Only one flamethrower holding that road. And on the top side, the smoke has allowed a couple of the airborne scouts to get across the river there, which might end up ambushing the armored rifles and the M3A1 half-track. But on this bottom side, things are going okay, I would say, for Yamin for now. He hasn't lost anything just yet, but his units are being forced back by these flamethrowers, and the flamethrowers haven't taken any damage in the process.
Yeah, I mean, Ghosty's over the river. That's what matters here on this map. And this is, honestly, this is how you play this map. You got to start with a massive opening. You got to hope you make a breakthrough on one of the 3 bridges, and from there, it's all about, can you hold that bridgehead, or is it going to go back to a grindy death match after that point?
Yeah, good old Krupa. We were both wondering how they ended up on this map. It's a map that doesn't really suit the Maverick playstyle that both sides have decided to choose. But it looks like, are these tanks having trouble getting across the river, or is he just, no, he hasn't ordered them to head across just yet?
Yeah, no, he hasn't. I'm not sure. I mean, I get not wanting to get too close, but you need them across the river. Like, they got to get there.
There we go. Pulling the trigger now.
Now up north, Yamin's push successful. He's got a lot of infantry over the river. They will not be dug out easily, especially because Ghosty's infantry aren't going to beat them at CQC in any shape or form, even a little bit. So, yeah, both players here established, but Yamin on the 1410, because, again, these southern flags are just so deep. That was why I was a little confused at this choice. I would say a central push is actually a lot more effective a lot of times.
Yeah, it allows you to really spread out from that position a lot easier, whereas on this bottom side, you can get really sort of caught up on this ridge. But either way, the M4s have made it across this bridge and will be starting to chase down the Tetrarch. Tetrarch is looking to clean up some of the half-tracks in the meantime. Would be good if he can get rid of that. Nice. One of the 50 cal half-tracks down, but more reinforcements are on the way. We've got another armored rifle joining, and the M15 is now coming across as well, whilst Ghosty is reinforcing the top side as well with the M4 105 and the M8 Scott.
Yeah, waiting for this PAC 75 mil to start throwing heat shell down on these M4s. See if he gets the chance.
It's a nice identification by Ghosty to realize that there is not as much in the way of armor, and so he's able to really utilize the M8 Scots and the M4 105s. But yeah, the PAC 75 mil there, managing to get to the pen onto one of the M4s. The 6-pounder going to be killing off the same M4 that was penetrated, so nicely done. Can it take out the M4 105 as well? It does. The 2-star veterancy there with the AB leader next to it. So important. Oh, and another penetration onto the 3rd M4. And it goes down with the 4th shot. Very, very nicely done. This 6-pounder doing so much work against Ghosty's forces. The M3A1 half-track, 1 bang as well. The 6-pounder not missing a shot. That extra veterancy was so important there. Nicely done by Yamin to get that airborne leader in.
Yeah, and that's one of the strengths, too, of 6th Airborne. You can vet so hard in this deck and still have tons of stuff. Like, the infantry tab is just basically all double vetted, and there's still no lack of infantry. So that's one of the strengths of 6th Airborne. You could just get so much veterancy in this division, and it really does make a difference.
On the P51 coming in for the kill and doesn't find it either, since the 6-pounder was already falling back. The Oxen Bucks going to be falling back. Air landing are getting slowly but surely cut down, but losing all of that armor in Ghosty's push here puts him in such a tough position, and Yamin's only bringing in more and more AT guns, including the captured PAC 40 that's going to be joining that bottom side. Meanwhile, Yamin on the top has dug himself in quite nicely and grabbed both of these flags. The air landing there, managing to land the Pia onto the M3 half-track, meaning they will keep that flag for the time being.
Well, these infantry spotted the M15 now, so the Centaur's going after that. Killing that would be pretty big. His Air Force, of course, extremely dangerous. Although, now that I think about it, Yamin only has 2 AT Typhoons. He has no, bomber variant at all, which is kind of weird. Yamin just does not like Air Force.
Side, the Tetrarch going to be engaging the M15 CGMC, which will open up the air for some of Yamin's aircraft, even if he is limited. But 6-pounder falling back after being hit by the 50 cal and the armored LMG rifles. Canadian Palos still managing to hold on to their position due to the lack of armor to help this infantry now, because that is one thing about the 3rd armored, is that they're one division that can't really rely entirely on their infantry. They really do require that combined arms to be effective.
Well, and they're so effective when you do it. Having 50 cals everywhere is just so devastating all the time.
Another recon aircraft now coming in on this bottom side. Not really anything to stop that. Not even 50 cals from half tracks, because One of them is the M3 half-track with the 30 cal. The M5A1 doesn't have a 50 cal on the top. The infantry 50 cals can't shoot the plane. So this thing is just going to fly freely over this bottom side and discover all of the locations of Ghosty's forces, which is really not what Ghosty needs right now.
No, information is so valuable to these top-tier players. If they know where your stuff is, they'll kill your stuff. Kind of a weird smoking here from the Centaur up north. It's like a really... Why is he smoking that?
Well, Typhoon brought in to try and intercept the P-51. I feel like
it can definitely do that.
Yamin kind of realizes he made a mistake here and is rushing in the Polston to cover him off, because that P-51 could very easily come back around and deal with the Typhoon because it has a lot more agility. Nice bombing strike, though, onto the captured Pak-40. That is now taken care of. Polston going to unload and force back the P-51.
I thought the P-51 was going to go for the bombing strike on the Polston. Excuse me.
Yeah, that would have been pretty clutch. The 6-pounder, also a very good target there. But the Typhoon managing to get away with that one. I thought it was maybe a little bit over-ambitious using the Typhoon AT to try and take out the Mustang head-on. It would have worked, but Ghosty obviously not going to let that happen. 75 mil on the top side, suffering to the 50 cal. Those 50 cal units still very, very strong. This Typhoon just hunting for a target right now. It has got its eyes on the M4105, but the P-51 is coming across and is pre-targeted. So that Typhoon is a goner.
Oh, that's a big kill. That's 160 points going down there. Didn't do a thing.
Yeah, that was kind of greedy, I would say. It's probably the best way to put it for Yamin there. Very, very greedy, keeping that up after the initial threat from the P-51 Mustangs. And yeah, wasteful as well.
Yeah, it was definitely an underestimation of the danger of the P-51. Yes, Typhoons are better, but that doesn't mean the P-51 can't shoot you down. Now,
the nice thing about the P-51s is they're very, very fast as well. So they can get on the tail of those Typhoons, which are equally as fast.
Yeah, but the issue is here, Yamin managing to hold on to this flag down south, keeping his 13-11 going. And with this Maverick Mirror, that really matters. Like, you can't be giving up flags for nothing.
Yeah, all of the games we've seen in this series so far, Yamin has always found this nice early lead, which allows him to get ahead in tickets and really put the pressure on Ghosty to be the one to make the move. And at the moment, he's kind of creating a nice area to kind of choke out Ghosty here, because Ghosty's going to keep bringing over reinforcements on the bridge, and his tanks are going to bump into these 6-pounders that are now set up, and all of the infantry is just going to get chewed apart in the heavy cover. So it's going to be incredibly difficult without artillery or like bomb support in order to break down these units that Yamin is making good use of.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, and that's why I feel like a central push would have been so much better. There's so much more open ground here to play with in the middle. Yeah, there's a town there, but like then all this ground around he could have worked with. M8 Scott just blasting through here in the center, forcing back these infantry. I don't think he's going to catch that AB parent. Oh, he did. Wow.
Yeah, just about managed to get them before they cut over the other side of the river there, because the M8 Scott would not be able to follow in that situation. But yeah, that one M8 Scott holding back the 4 units of infantry, and just such a really good unit when there's no AT around, because of its 50 cal and its 75 mil gun. More Polstons being brought in for Yamin, being aware of the bombing threat from Ghosty. Speaking of which, we see a B-26B Marauder on the way with the 454 kilogram bombs.
That's big.
Looking to destroy these airborne Canadian powers, poor chaps.
Yeah, and the Polstons have no chance. They're 20 mils like all 20 mils. Sad. Boom. But wow. Seriously?
Yeah, that did no damage. I really expected that to do a lot more. Usually those bombs are very effective, but I think Yamin, he was already pinned down a little bit and it was able to retreat before the bombs landed, which is super, super important. It reduces the damage so significantly.
Did he? I didn't think he retreated. Was it the water? Like, does the water reduce the blast zone?
I don't think so. I think the M5A1 was getting shots on, wasn't it?
I just have no idea, but that... I have no idea, but that seemed very underwhelming. That is definitely... I don't think fallback should work so well against 500 kilogram bombs, but, you know, is what it is, I guess.
Well, nice kills on the bottom side. M1 gun cleans up one of the Tetrarchs. The 50 cal here has free line of sight onto the 6-pounder thanks to this recon, this 3-vet recon that's kind of sat in the end of this town here. It's actually a really nice position to have that recon because it is going to spot these 6-pounders anytime they come to the edge of the tree lines. Meanwhile, the AB Paras further down, even with their Bren and Lee Enfield sniper, they're going to get overrun by the M1 Garans that these armored rifles offer, and that will give Ghosty this flag finally to push it to a 12-12, and even going to be capturing back the one further up on the top side. So 13-11 now for Ghosty.
In the center, the 50 cal is holding back the Tetrarchs, which is kind of comical. It's like forcing them back. Because if your armor is 20 millimeters or less, is that what it is? The 50 cal will be able to like shoot and pen you, and like pin you down.
Yeah, it'll do damage over time, but it'll be limited damage. It's the suppression, yeah, for sure, that matters. And nice bombing strike there as well, also going to force back the Oxen Bucks and the air landing. But in real life there, that 50 cal would certainly tear through a Tetrarch.
Just looks comical in-game. The up north, the M4105 doing some work now with the help of the 50 cal as well. And we're into B phase. So both players getting all their income.
The 6-pounder just getting through before being pinned down, gets behind the smoke, and will be able to get into cover there in order to help shoot at the M3 half-track that is capturing that flag at the moment. If you can kill that off, it might allow these airborne Canadian Paras to sneak across the river again and push him back to a 13-11. Now the Centaur on the bottom side firing into the position of the 50 cal, which might actually cause the death of the recon, which I would say in this position is a lot more important because that is giving very, very good eyes onto these AT guns. That would threaten his armor down on that bottom side. But now Ghosty really doesn't have anywhere to go, as you mentioned. Now he's taking these 2 flags across the bridge here. I think his main thing to do is just try and get Yamin back across the river elsewhere so that he can solidify his lead for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he's got to squeeze him off his side, right? I mean, there's a lot to squeeze out up north. He's already recaptured this flag. This half-track going to go down to the Tetrarch. He really needs to kill that off. That snuck over in the center here. And it really hasn't reinforced the center at all, which is kind of surprising because he could just run across. Tetrarch does go down, though. M5A1 Recon, though, also goes down. P51 coming in. Will the 20 mils be enough?
Oh, the Tetrarch just popped the M4A176 with 2 side shots.
Oh,
what a god. It fires so fast with that 2 veterancy, and it certainly took advantage with the ambush there onto the M4A1. 6-pounder even survives the bombing strike from Ghosty, and Ghosty not having a good time here as his M4 Jumbo has been penetrated on the bottom side as well already by one of these 6-pounders.
Yeah, it's not going well. It's just not. Now, he's almost captured his flag back up north. Most of these infantry can't do anything about this M8 Scott. It could probably just drive forward a little bit and capture that flag.
Yep, and you see the Jumbo backing off as the 6-pounder is put onto return fire. The recon's actually been moved out into the open on this bottom side. Yamin currently having no recon of his own to spot that, but I believe an infantry squad will spot that relatively easy when Yamin makes another push. So Ghosty, only a matter of time until he loses his eyes on that bottom side, but enough Polstons in position, including a tri-Polston, in order to stop and potentially kill the P51. It goes down. Very nicely done.
Yeah, the P51s have been a little underwhelming. Their bomb loadout is not heavy enough to like consistently wipe stuff out. So a lot of the strikes have not gotten the kills that Ghosty desperately needs.
Absolutely. Now the M1 gun. Oh, finding a nice kill there on the bottom side. Takes out an AT gun before it unloaded. And now Cromwell 5 going to be coming up on this bottom side as well, but won't be wanting to go into that same AT gun. M8 Scott, meanwhile, on the top side, actually getting some decent suppression down. Centaur was firing at the M15 further back on the top. Yamin, he's got a lot more on this map than Ghosty does right now, if we just zoom out a little bit and have a look. But we do see 2 Jumbos on the way. And honestly, Jumbos are going to be things that the 6th Airborne will struggle with without the use of the Typhoon AT, which we've already saw go down, and also 17 pounders.
Well, even the 17 at maximum range, the 17 pounder like just should not penetrate the jumbo. Now it'll happen, but it shouldn't. Right, jumbo's driving around with 190 millimeters of frontal armor, 17 pounder doing 170. Really shouldn't be able to pen it.
In real life, it would.
Yeah, well, hey, this game is historically accurate. Don't you dare imply otherwise.
Well, P-51 just about managing to get away with that bombing strike on the bottom side. Poor Alster being shot down, though, on the side of Yamin. Those little recon aircraft, you would not want to be driving or flying them around in Division 2.
Oh my god. It's like, goodbye, bro. Never going to see you again. Down south, Yamin building up an attack force here, unloads his 17 pounder to get that in position. He was waiting for B phase to get. I mean, I don't think you can bring him in A phase. I don't know. I can't remember. But he put both. What?
Top side, P-51 goes down. Marauder coming in with a big bombing strike onto this tree line, and there is a lot of targets there. This could be actually very damaging this time around. Is somebody like put dud bombs in or something? Because that again just really didn't do much damage at all.
No, like the AB engineers are literally like 20 meters away from that and took no damage at all.
That's wild. That's wild. I've seen those bombs absolutely wipe stuff before.
Yeah, they should have shredded. Oh, Beaufort's down south gets caught out by the Cromwells and the Tetrarch there. That definitely rough. Unfortunately, there's no armored rifle there to zook those. So Ghosty's position down south, not even looking that strong now. Looks like Yamin's going to cheeky grab this flag over the river, perhaps?
Yeah, he's going to get two. The salient's going to extend over the village there. And the Cromwell can now come around behind this jumbo, which is a really, really bad position for it because the jumbo's already damaged. The 6 pounder's getting ready and in position to fire at it. We've got the 17 pounder already firing at it from the bottom side here. Now the Cromwell moving around will want to kind of hurry because it's only a matter of time until the jumbo can pin down the 17 pounder. Oh, but there's the side shot from was that the 6 pounder?
I didn't think it was. I thought the Centaur maybe killed it off. Because it was
could have been
throwing HE down. But the point is, Jumbo out of the way, and that was kind of the only roadblock there for Yamin. His Centaur up north, hitting that 81 mil mortar. I mean, that Marauder strike was so disappointing. I'm just like still baffled by why that's doing no damage.
Well, the 50 cal meanwhile takes out the 6 pounder on the bottom side. Armored rifles engaging the Airborne Para and the Airborne Canadian Para. The Airborne Para with that sniper rifle, incredibly lethal. And able to finish off that squad with the 50 cal also going down. 6 pounder able to turn around and kill the Cromwell 5 though, which is a nice kill. Bofers being brought up on the backside are going to end up being engaged by the Grenadiers. Meanwhile in the mid, the rest of Yamin's forces there are being slowly but surely cleaned up. So things still are 12-12 across the board. The unit disparity still looks like it's very much in Yamin's favor, but now Ghosty's forces are getting pushed back across the river as Yamin cleans up.
Yeah, and wow, even that freaking P-51 dropping 2 of those bombs on the Grenadiers only did a couple damage. Oy. But he's getting a lot of armor kills at this point, which is a big deal. He's got 2 155s in the back. It looks like he's finally going to start countering that Centaur, but the problem is we're now in C phase. So what they got on the map is going to be what they get to use for the majority of the game. And that's not looking good for Ghosty.
Yeah, the Grenadiers are getting slowly but surely taken out there by the M5A1. Ghosty still able to get this armored rifle across the bridge for now, which is good for him. And the 50 cal should help pin down these airborne paras that are moving across the open. But this M1 gun is still vulnerable as they reach the buildings, and the armored rifle is not really going to be able to do much about it. So yeah, Ghosty's still going to be in a bad position here, as Yamin maintains his position across the river on the top side, whilst Ghosty is most likely to lose his.
Yeah, and getting it back across the river is so challenging and honestly unlikely. The only chance he really has at this point is maybe the center, like a wild push down the center, but eventually Yamin can just throw a 17 pounder on the hill, then you're not getting through there anymore. Yeah, this ain't looking good.
Little John's on the bottom side, getting ready to pounce on some of this armor. It'd be pretty fun to see the Little Johns take out the Jumbo. It would require quite a lot of shots, I imagine. But the 130 mils of penetration there, pretty strong. Just lacks damage. So 4 damage a shot, require 3 shots to kill that Jumbo on target penetrations.
That's a lot of side shots.
Yeah, there's topside Centaurs still trying to harass the 81 mil mortar and the M15. An 81 mil mortar is something that maybe we could have seen a bit sooner instead of a lot of these bombers. I think over time those would have been a lot more cost efficient for Ghosty, but nice bombing strike on this bottom side. Finally seeing the P51 hit hard, takes out the leader and the Grenadiers, but M1 gun going down to Airborne engineers as the Jumbo moves up here. 17 pounders, very close range. This is scary for the Jumbo. Will the yamin make it fire?
There's 2 17 pounders. He'll get a side shot. Oh, Ghosty thankfully notices the danger he put himself in there and falls back. So the infantry recaptured that flag, though. Yamin now on the 1311 with his holdings up north and now grabbing both flags down south again. And an off map.
It's off map time. It's actually, we have actually been very shy of off map in this grand final so far. And now finally going to be seeing the 203mm off map come down. And since Ghosty's forces are nicely concentrated here across the bridge, this could hit pretty hard, although he has decided to use emergency once again. Actually, wasn't he using emergency before?
Yeah, we did see off map in the Orsha East game, which I think was the first one. And it was just this dumb emergency again. We're like, why is he doing this?
That reminded me of it. I was like, I forgot about it because it just wasn't very effective.
No, it's completely useless. And this is a good off map. Like the 203 is a deadly off map. It actually kills stuff. Not when you do it on emergency fire, but when you do it on any other version, like any other mode. This is so strange.
Yeah, if the 2A3 actually hits something, then it will probably kill it. Like one of these half tracks, for example. Maybe not the Jumbo or the M5A1, but certainly the half tracks or this infantry. B26 did manage to get its bombs off on this bottom side, but it's going to fly right over all this. So that is absolutely curtains. Does take out one of the engineers at least before it goes down. Little John's now engaging the M5A1 do manage to kill it off. Nicely done. But yeah, the bombing strike at least forcing the Airborne engineers off for the time being. Not as effective as he would have liked it, and certainly didn't get value out of that bomber whatsoever throughout this game.
No. That was rough. It's all kinds of rough. Now he grabbed the flag back. So Yaman's going to have to spend some more time. He's got reinforcements already coming in to try to recap that flag. And again, that's why I don't like pushing the southern position. It's so easy for the opponent to get troops right up next to the flag and sit there. And then you have to work really hard to dig them back out.
Yeah, nice kills by the 17 pounder on the top side. Cleans up both the half tracks, leaving the armored rifles out in the open. Double P51 bombing strike now coming in to potentially overwhelm the AA. The smaller one gets off the bombs, does kill off the engineers, but the bigger one not dropping those is unfortunate. We're now going to be seeing the investment into 2 of these M12 GMC 155s on the backside here. These can certainly hit hard, but it looks like he's going to be targeting the AA. And at this point, is it worth targeting the AA? Because Ghosty's kind of already lost a couple of Mustangs and his big bomber. I don't know if it's really worth the time and investment using that large caliber artillery that would be very effective at pinning down a lot of this infantry and helping him push out these backline units.
Yeah, maybe his mindset is this game's going to go long, so if I kill the A off, I mean, 6th Airborne doesn't have much. He still has several Mustangs left and at least one B-26 left. I mean, if he kills off the AA, his planes will absolutely dominate. There's no question. And the thing is, counter-battering the Centaurs is a waste of time. It's easy to move them. It's kind of the problem. I don't know, and I feel like the 155s take a while to aim up and actually get rounds on target, so targeting infantry always feels a little ineffective.
Yeah, well, the 17 pounder managing to take out the M4 105 on the top side, so another support gun from Ghosty being taken care of. 17 pounder on the bottom side takes out the Jumbo as well. This is really just going from bad to worse for Ghosty, losing 2 significant pieces of armor there. No reply whatsoever. The mortar fire is coming in onto those AT guns, but the AT gun, I believe, had already moved, or is it? No, it
No,
hasn't.
it's still there. Yeah, it's a 6-pounder and a 17-pounder. But, like, I mean, he's already killed the significant armor. They're already dead. 2 M4A3s coming in, though, to try to perhaps overwhelm these AT guns, as more mortar fire will be coming in soon.
Armored rifles unloading, the air landing ready and waiting to receive them. Pia on target of the M8 Scott will find the kill. Nicely done indeed. At close range, the air landing will struggle against the armored rifles with the BAR, but if it's going to keep killing off these half tracks, those exploding will cause a little bit of extra suppression. The fire coming in from the Grenadiers and the Canadian Paras, they're also helping out quite a lot. So that engagement not really going as well as I'd imagine Ghosty would have liked. M21 mortar carrier getting stressed out and forced back, but this bottom side absolutely being swept up now by Yamin.
Yeah, now the worst part is the crackback from Yamin is going to be significant. There's a lot of troops here, and there are no troops for Ghosty. He's got 2 armored rifles in half tracks. I mean, they cannot stop this.
Yeah, he does at least lose one of the Cromwells here to the armored rifles, so one last hurrah for Ghosty, but here we go. The Cromwell 5 now going to be freely pushing across the river. Bofors will not be able to stop this whatsoever. 2 armored rifles are rushing in to take positions into this village, and it's really just going to be a race to see who gets there first. And I imagine Yamin will get these Tetrarchs into position to stop those reinforcements, and that's going to give Yamin a very, very nice dug-in position in this village.
Yeah, that's really this is all really bad. There's so many. Yaman's got so many troops on the map, and Ghosty has so few.
And the armored rifles forced to unload early. P-51 coming in for the bombing strike onto the Daimler. Daimler won't really have to worry about that unless it's the bigger bombs, which are now coming in after the fact onto the Tetrarch. Little John, yeah, the Little John goes, Tetrarch goes down. Typhoons on the top side also going to be coming in, looking for the M4A3 105s. One of them being retargeted at the last second towards the M4A3 on the top side, and that one gets the kill. So nicely done. M10A1 coming in on this bottom side to try and cover the push, but Ghosty's gonna call it at 29 minutes and 6 seconds as he does not see a way back into this match.
Yeah, that was
2,610 kills to 1,745 losses.
Yeah, that was decisive. I'm not sure if I agree with the third armor choice. Krupa is shockingly CQC. It doesn't look like it should be, and yes, long range units can be super helpful, but like your infantry always get into a grind in those towns around the rivers and in the forests that are located around the rivers, and having no CQC to work with makes it so hard to grab those positions back if you lose them. It's just very hard. I don't
think that Ghosty's push across the river on the bottom side was necessarily too bad until that 6-pounder just sliced and diced his armor apart. Look at the kills on that thing. 2 M4s, 1 M4 105, both the 50 cal half tracks, and eventually the M4A3 that it did side shot on that bottom side. Is really, really rough. 17-pounder picking up another jumbo. Just no value out of those jumbos whatsoever. And yeah, I think the third armored with those jumbos is a significant threat to the 6th, I think. But the 6th does have the tools to deal with them with the Typhoons and the 17-pounders. And on that map, as you said, it's a lot closer range. So the 17-pounders do have the penetration that they need in those situations. So yeah, Ghosty's just not really be able to make it work. I would say an overinvestment, in my opinion, to the Mustangs and the Bombers. I think relying more on the mortars in this sort of situation would have been nicer and more consistent.
Yeah, and I understand why he went so heavy on the air. I mean, 6th Airborne does not have good AA. So, there was definitely a chance that it could have cracked it open at some point. But the bombers were weirdly ineffective. American bombers usually just, eviscerate entire parts of the map. And this game, I don't know what was going on. It was very strange.
Yeah.
It's just very odd. I do think Ghosty had some bad luck when it came to bombing strikes, but I mean, definitely getting outplayed there by Yamin. A great match to both players, though. That makes Yamin our Steel Division 2 Season 11 League champion. Congrats.
Indeed, 3-0. Congratulations to Yamin. Commiserations to Ghosty, but still taking second place. Nothing to scoff at whatsoever. Anything else you'd like to add for this game?
No, thanks for casting with me again, Vulcan. Always a great time.
Yeah, indeed. We'll have to look forward to the next Steel Division League, but that's it for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed all of the cast between me and Atkpwr. Definitely make sure to go check out Atkpwr if you haven't already. Yeah, come and check out me maybe as well.
Yeah, thanks,
if
big
you
buddy
don't know who I
Vulcan.
am.
Yeah. go check out the 20 times size guy. Check that guy first.
But no, definitely go check out Atkpwr if you haven't. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.